So if you're watching this video, I think you're in that state where I was 10 years back. You're now questioning that how else can life be lived? I remember 10 years back, I had this moment of awakening where I started questioning that who is the person who decided that by age 25 you got to be married, by age blah 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 you have to have kids, then the second kid, and by this age you should have a job, and then by this age you should have a promotion. Who decided that? And I was so confused and lost in that moment, but I have utmost gratitude now that I look back. It is an act of courage to question things. And if you are right now questioning that what kind of life I want to live, do I even want to live the kind of life I've been living so far, you've reached the right place. The core of my work, of my service, is to awaken people to this concept that you are allowed to live your life on your terms. It's so much easier said than done. On your terms, it's not just 3 words, but it is quite literally a complete shift in your identity and in your mindset and in your behavior. It took me 10 years to crack this code of how to live your life on your own terms. So we're going to start from the basics. The first thing is that your upbringing was of certain kind, whatever that is. Either you were taught to believe that hard work is the only way that you can have something big in life, or maybe you were taught that you can't have something big in life, someone else can who has different conditions in their life. Well, I always believed that hard work is the only way that I can have something big, and I got to put in way more to receive some extent of it. So if I want X amount of something, I need to put in 10x of hard work. So I would take pride in that. That was part of my identity, that you know what, I study for these many hours, and no wonder that I chose to do chartered accountancy. And I'm very proud of my capacity, that I have the capacity to sit for such long hours and work so much. And as I was saying, that in that awakening moment, I started questioning everything. I started reading a lot of books which gave me some clarity, but also made me very confused, because when you are listening to someone else's words about what is right and wrong about life, then you're getting further away from your own self. But that kind of helped me in realizing that there are more realities available than the one that I was aware of so far. And so I'll give you 3 easy steps. Well, not really easy, they're gonna take work and commitment from you. So I'm going to give you 3 steps to really understand what kind of life you want to live and what are your own terms, and how to really build your life on your own terms. Number 1 is you got to start introspecting on what is your current pattern like. If you're not aware of that, and if you're just getting into the whole hustle of working and manifesting and whatever that is, you're gonna get more lost. Why? Because you're not even aware of what is your current programming. What were you taught? What are your deep beliefs? So the more you're aware of that, the more you have something to let go of, right? If you're not creating space by letting go of the existing patterns and thought processes, then you're just building more stuff on a very wobbly, shaky foundation. There's no foundation in the first place for your new life, right? So in the first step, we are creating space by really introspecting on what is actually happening in your mind right now. There are different ways to do that. Well, I'm not saying this just because I'm a coach, but I practice what I preach. I have had a coach since 10 years, and I will have a coach all my life, because it just gets super easier to process things when there is someone holding space for you while being unbiased, right? It's almost like that person is a mirror for you, and you're very easily able to see what all is going on within you. So I would highly recommend that get a coach or get into a program which helps you introspect, because there are tools designed in a way that you're able to sit with it and you're able to bring all that insight and information out. If you're not in any program right now, if you don't have a coach right now, start journaling every day. And in fact, what I'll do is you can comment journaling in the comments, and I will share the link of our journaling program. In that, you can you have a series of questions and tools which you can use to really start getting information from within you, that what is actually going on within. Or you can just like go and Google stuff and really start journaling every day, just to get more insights out. And it's not going to be a fun glory flory process, because getting more aware sucks in the beginning. Why? Because you're still building the habit and the skill to sit with it, to allow it to come up and not judge it. When you're judging it, you're gonna feel worse about it. Part of the process, we cannot skip it. That's how you learn, right? Now, number 2 is, when you have really addressed and acknowledged these are my limiting patterns, it's less of a step, it's more of a choice you make with your presence, that you know what, I am letting go of this thought process, this pattern. It's more of very mellow kind of step, where you sit with yourself and you're just like being present with what is, and you're choosing for that to go away. I still practice this, that when I know I want to create let's say my next coaching program, and my logical mind would be like, you know what, just do more, show up even on the days that I require rest, do more. And rather than resisting this, I acknowledge, which is the first step. I identify, oh, this is what is going on in my mind, and I sit with it. Okay, that part of my mind is asking me to just go and hustle. That's not how I want to live my life, and I just stay with it, and I choose to let that go. And you know why that is difficult, and a lot of people don't do that, because it requires a level of trust in yourself that I can have the outcome that I want on my own terms, which is more effortless and fun and like smooth, and not the crazy hustling. Yeah, it's going to be a process for sure. Like it's a skill that we got to build, right? Third step, and I love this step. It's just so fun to operate from this fresh space. Now that you have released all these old patterns, you have a lot of space in your life. You can now put in anything you want. Now, if you have been exposed to only a certain kind of reality, then you will find it a little difficult to what to put in. You'll be confused. So that's why you get creative here. You expose yourself to different realities. You allow yourself to dream. And when you do these two things, you start getting ideas, right? You start asking yourself, if there was no limitation in the world, what would I choose? And when I started doing that, my answers started coming up, which were my true answers. One thing that has been coming up in my life, which is now my reality, is that I want to live a global life. If I'm anyway working on my laptop, why do I have to work from a particular city and I have to live there all my life? I don't want to live in one place all my life. My parents have lived in one place all their life because that's what they chose and it works for them. But that doesn't mean that I have to choose that reality as well. And now I am in Bali. I'm going to Thailand tomorrow. Very excited and nervous about that. Before this, I was in Australia, and before that, I was traveling all across Europe. So this was a very big value system or term for me, which was that I want to be independent of my location, and I want to have a location independent business. That means I can run it from my laptop, and I can choose to have location based business, like elements of my business, whenever I want. For example, retreats, right? They're like not just online retreats but physical retreats, and I think Bali has this amazing sense of healing that really you feel excited to do retreats in Bali, which I soon will. Now, was it the most obvious thing for me to believe that yeah, of course I can live a global life? Not at all. And especially being an Indian woman, these thoughts come to your mind that, oh, but then what if parents don't allow? But then it's my age of marriage and I cannot be out. And that is a reality for so many. Our parents tell us that no, not right now, do it later, right? And all of these things were in my head. So the biggest doubt that comes in is that, will I be able to financially sustain this lifestyle? Right now, money is one topic that we talk about and cover and work on the most in our program, because you will be waiting to live your life on your own terms always if you keep waiting for the money to come in. The thing is that it's not that you choose later, you choose your life later and you first wait for the money to come in. Money comes in when you from your heart believe that this is the life I want to live. Now, it is very counterintuitive because your mind will be like, how can you ask for a global life when you don't have the money for it? And your mind will just stop there and sit and wait for one day the money will come. One day the money doesn't come. You got to believe in your dreams so much so that you get inspired ideas to pick your ass up and create something amazing from your heart, which brings in the money, right? Which then brings in more stuff in your life, which you choose to buy with that money. A lot of times you don't even need money to have your desires met. I remember I used to have this narrative run in my head as part of my own inner work that the worldly organizations are calling me and funding my travel. And in literally a few weeks, I was invited to attend an event in Switzerland, and everything was funded. My commute, like my flights, my stay, food, everything was taken care of. I didn't have to spend a penny. So that is also a reality, but that happens only when you're not desperate for someone to pay for you. You just know that it will be taken care of. And that's how money also comes in play. So the third step is very important, which is that you are now deciding your own terms and sitting and believing in it. Now, again, the old programming is going to come in knocking, hey, you're just dreaming of things that are never going to come true, and that is literally part of the process. And that's why being in a program or having a coach really helps you stay in your alignment. And even when you get out of it, you know that you can always come back, because that's the job of your coach, to hold space for you to realign with your desires. And I remember that I think 1 month when I had started talking about this verbally with my coach, that, you know what, I think it's time for me to let go of my apartment in Delhi and just start traveling worldwide, start living worldwide. And it was a really difficult and uncomfortable time for me, because that meant that I fully trusted myself with the decision. And I built that trust over that month, and I just messaged my landlord that, hey, I'm gonna be leaving in 2 months. And it was a very crazy time. I was scared about the money. What if I run out? What if I don't get new clients? What if my parents start saying that, hey, come back? And all of those doubts are like, your mind's job is to be doubtful, and your job is to be trusting of yourself, right? And again, it takes time and effort and skill to build that trust. And I'm so happy that I had invested every single penny that I had earned last year, not last year, but in a few months, in a personal coach, because that just helped me process things way faster. I would anyway be living this life, but maybe way later, because then I had to struggle with my thoughts, my limiting thoughts for longer, right? Having a coach is just really paces up the processing time, and you're able to take more decisions, more gutsy decisions, way ahead of your time. I have gone from this crazy hardworking person to living a life on my own terms, living this really amazing global life. I encourage you to today, not tomorrow, not 10 days later, not 1 year later. Today is the best and the right day to start working on building a life on your own terms, because we're all gonna die one day. And if you're not living your life today, then what are you waiting for, right? We're living our life in our own bodies. We're experiencing this life in our own bodies. And if you don't have a happy, really easy and like fun emotional state, then you're just missing out on what this gorgeous life has to offer. So I truly encourage you to at least make a choice right now that, you know what, enough is enough. I'm now starting to build my life on my own terms. I don't know what that means. I don't know how that will happen. I seriously don't know how that will happen, but I'm making that choice. No matter what, I'm gonna start living my life on my own terms. And you know what? You're not just doing this for yourself, but so many people who will be inspired by this choice that you're gonna make right now. Because the life that I've built, I'm able to pass on this energy to so many people, to my family, to my friends, to my clients, to my audience, and so many people that don't know me yet, and they will soon as I progress in my own journey. So you're not doing this just for yourself, but you're also doing it for so many people who will come across you, your energy, and they're going to take something that inspires them and implement it in their life and live a greater life for themselves. So this is Viveka. If you want to join my program, we're going to start it very soon. Then you can comment program in the comments, and I will send a link for you to register, or I'll in fact invite you to our next session for free, so that you can get a good sense of what that is like. And if you want one-on-one coaching, then you can mail me in this email ID that I have written here. I will see you soon.